You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, our family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, it's Jessie. How y'all doing out there today? You know I miss you when we're not talking. Oh, yes, I do. What a 24-hour period we have had. All right, I've got a couple of new show clips for you. And, of course, I'll probably dredge up a couple of old ones because, well, they are still relevant. For those of you who live under a rock, North Korea last night launched a missile over Japan's airspace, over part of Japan. Now, I did a little sniffing and snooping as I usually do. And, well, that could have been declared an act of war right then and there. Oh, yes. No joke, my friends. And I'm not trying to kick a dead horse. I'm sorry if you've heard this 30,000 times from me, for those of you who are regular listeners, but that could have been declared an act of war. Now, why is that? How does that affect the United States? All right. We have a treaty to defend Japan. So, in short, if Japan is attacked and goes to war, we go right alongside them. What? You didn't know that? Yeah, why do you think we have so many military stationed in Japan? This all came about because of World War II. I'm not going to get into the details, but it all came about because of World War II. Yes, oh yes, it did. Now, I'm going to let you in on something. And I think it's probably going to make the news sooner or later. But I'm going to tell you right now. I think North Korea and Iran are partners. You've heard it from me before, I know. But this time, I'm not the only one that thinks so. No. The Israelis think so. Yes, the Israelis. Now, what makes this all significant? Well, we have multiple treaties with them, and they tend to be quite the intriguing group of international, well, let's put it blunt. They got some of the best spies in the world, my friend. Yes. They have some of the best spies in the world. Now, of course, I've got my show prep. But before I go overseas, I do have one beautiful military audio clip to play for you, and it does directly relate to Hurricane Harvey.
Members of the 136th Airlift Wing answered their fellow Texans' call by sending the first wave of C-130s to Galveston, Texas to fly out victims of Hurricane Harvey on August 28th. Director of Operations for the 136th Airlift Control Flight, Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Cruz, tells us the plan.
So it's a perfect opportunity really for us to use the airlift assets that we have with the C-130s and all the associated support resources to come in and help out fellow Texans to get them out of harm's way and bring in the relief supplies that the first responders need. It's a lot quicker, and in this case with the flooding, it's a lot more reliable.
A citizen of the nearby flooded town of Dickinson, Texas, Carl Ross Hoover, says he is grateful for the support.
I'm amazed at the coordination between each other in getting us taken over from place to place and then put onto a plane. Everything is going like clockwork.
All right, so, way to go, airlift support. Yes, they have airlifted in many things and taken out many people. I was not able to get exact numbers. I will reach out to their public affairs officer in the near future and see if I can get some of that information. Now, I've got to tell you guys something. I hope I'm wrong. I have said that before. And you know why I say it. I do not want to see a war on the Korean Peninsula. Because just like Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Dunford says, it's not unimaginable, but it is horrific. However, I'm going to let Nikki Haley explain why I don't think North Korea can get away with this crap any longer.
Well, first of all, what happened yesterday is absolutely unacceptable and irresponsible. The United States, along with Japan and South Korea, have called for an emergency Security Council meeting this afternoon. We are going to talk about what else is left to do to North Korea. No country should have missiles flying over them like those 130 million people in Japan. It's unacceptable. They have violated every single UN Security Council resolution that we've had, and so I think something serious has to happen.
Will you be proposing new sanctions today?
I think we have a lot to talk about today, and so with all of our partners, what we hope is that China and Russia continues to work with us like they have in the past on North Korea, but I think enough is enough. Thank you.
Time come for the military option?
Well, she didn't answer the question about the military option because if I had to speculate why, she isn't a member of the armed forces. She doesn't speak for them. So I'm going to chalk it up to her staying in her lane. But for those of you regular listeners to this show, you know this is not the first time Nikki Haley has slammed North Korea. No, it is not. Let's pull up a couple of her other one of my other favorite Nikki Haley's.
Almost 1 week ago, I said the days of talking were over and it was time to act. Today, the full Security Council has come together to put the North Korean dictator on notice. And this time, the Council has matched its words and actions. The resolution we've passed is a strong, united step toward holding North Korea accountable for its behavior. Today, the Security Council increased the penalty of North Korea's ballistic missile activity to a whole new level. North Korea's irresponsible and careless acts have just proved to be quite costly to the regime. This resolution is the single largest economic sanctions package ever leveled against the North Korean regime. The price the North Korean leadership will pay for its continued nuclear and missile development will be the loss of 1/3 of its exports and hard currency. This is the most stringent set of sanctions on any country in a generation. These sanctions will cut deep and in doing so will give the North Korean leadership a taste of the deprivation they have chosen to inflict on the North Korean people.
All right. So you have North Korea and Iran playing buddy-buddy. Now we're going to get to that proof in just a minute. Before I get there, I do want to remind you, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse's POV, and I am making my way over to the KLRNRadio.com chat room. Just a little late getting there. I have my nights where everything's all spooled up and ready to go. Then I have my nights where it just takes me a few minutes to get all the puzzle pieces into place. Now, got to remind you folks about something. I am here every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern with you. Every Monday through Thursday. I will be here, barring many unforeseen consequences. As you know, I do have many military friends and family members, and yes, I will put them first from time to time. I love you guys, but they do have to come first. Now, why was I late getting on the air tonight? Well, I got a pretty good answer for you, and it's here. I was watching the UN Security Council, the emergency session, live online. How do you think I got a Nikki Haley quote for you? And I know it hasn't been overplayed because it hasn't been out for that long. Now, that session started at 7:45 p.m. and wrapped up right around 8:45. So it was an hour-long session. Now, they did not pass new sanctions. I'm not sure what's left to sanction, friends. I'm not sure much of anything. However, I will say the usual suspects have condemned the North Korean missile launch. Now, for those of you who are new to this, who am I referring to as usual suspects? Well, I am discussing, of course we condemned it. Japan? Huh. They were screaming about it before it even finished its flight. South Korea is screaming about it. Well, the UK's also got a few things to say about it. Let me see if I can get that. I'm probably going to have that one for you after the break. I got the clip, but it's a little rough. I got to take a minute and make it right. So I'll bring you the UK's condemnation after the break. But all of your normal, decent, civilized countries condemned North Korea's latest missile launch. And China did their usual two-face answer. Oh yes, China has been very two-faced. They'll vote with us on the sanctions, but then they will pull something that's just obnoxious. And just to remind you, let me see if I've got that clip handy. All right.
We hope parties concerned will immediately take effective actions to prevent the situation from further escalating. create conditions for the resumption of talks, and exert efforts to bring back at an early date the nuclear issue of the peninsula to the right track of seeking a peaceful solution through dialogue and consultation. Thank you, Mr. President.
China has also called for a halt to the joint U.S.-South Korea military exercises that have been going on for close to 40 years. Now, I actually just made a pretty bold statement on Twitter in response to something Rick was telling me. He's like, yeah, that's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Iran and North Korea are teaming up. Now, you know me, I can get like a dog with a bone with these things. So I have been chasing down bits and pieces of this. No, I do not have any special sources here and there. I have been doing it through open source news media. Requires a little bit of extrapolation and taking a few things, a little bit of speculation, but I'm not going too far out on limbs. All right. Last president of the United States, Barack Obama, sent a plane load of cash to Iran. That is fact. You want to dispute me on it? Good luck. But he did, and he admitted it. He effectively paid what I would call a ransom for U.S. prisoners. Then, prior to that, he had signed the Iran nuclear deal, which, of course, Iran is trying to get around at every turn. Iran has a history of evading sanctions. They have literally written the book and passed a photocopied it and sent it to North Korea on how to evade such sanctions. In fact, for the longest time, these were the two most ostracized nations and sanctioned nations in the world. Iran finally decided to try and make a deal and get out from under it, and of course they would pick Obama as the perfect time to make that deal. I just don't think Kim Jong-un was smart enough to get his deal in then. He probably figured the next president would be just like Barack Obama. While I will say Trump has not launched a strike on North Korea, here's why. Here's why. We cannot independently decide to go to war with North Korea. What? We can't? No. You realize we have treaties in place with South Korea that prevent that? So, treaties, agreements, and we have about 25,000 United States military personnel on the peninsula. Now you take that with the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, and just on North Korea's side of the demilitarized zone, and I promise you it's there, it's been discussed many a times. North Korea has scores of traditional artillery lined up to pulverize South Korea. No special missiles, nothing big, nothing fancy. In some cases, we are talking Soviet era and Soviet era knockoff equipment. Soviet era, yes, I'm going back that far. Have you ever looked at paid close attention to the uniforms those North Korean soldiers wear in their fancy parades? Tell me they don't look Soviet to you, or at least Soviet inspired. Now, let's take that one step further. So we have a plane load of cash flying into Iran because Iran made a deal, got out from under some sanctions, and Obama paid a ransom for U.S. lives. We won't discuss what I think about Obama paying a ransom. I've done that, aired those grievances on America Off the Rails a couple times, I think. Then, shortly after that, a few months later, and I went back and checked in North Korea's news feed. Yes, I've subjected myself to reading hours of North Korea news propaganda. There were various state visits for a variety of reasons, and I'm willing to say that the reasons were the propaganda. The visits themselves were not. Shortly after that plane load of cash landed in Iran. North Koreans visited Iran, Iranians visited North Korea. They're all cozy. We already know, been established fact, North Korea and Iran are trading partners. And as a reminder, North Korea is a weapons proliferation nation. Which means they make it, they sell it to the highest bidder. All right. Unfortunately, I have come up against the commercial break. So, we are going to have to pay those radio station bills, and I will see you on the other side.
You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your healthcare? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Down if you wanna, you can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna.
All right, thank y'all for hanging in there with me over that commercial break. Now, I actually do have one funny North Korean story, but I will save that for the end. It's actually a cute one. Yes, I found a cute North Korean story. But you're going to have to hang into the end of the show to see what I term cute and North Korea in the same sentence. Yeah, those are words you don't hear often. Now, I did find a great audio clip of China. China is not an ally. They are at best a frenemy. You know, sometimes a friend, sometimes an enemy, sometimes a little bit of both. This was after not the most recent UN Security Council, but the last one where they passed those big, really harsh sanctions. I want you to listen to part of this. This was after they voted unanimously to pass the sanctions.
4th this year, China and Russia issued a joint statement on the issue of the Korean Peninsula. Both of our two countries put forward a roadmap for resolving this issue, which is based respectively on China's idea of dual approach, which calls for parallel efforts on moving forward both the denuclearization on the peninsula and establishing a peace mechanism on the peninsula, on the initiative of suspension for suspension, which calls for DPRK's suspension of its nuclear and missile activities, and for U.S. and ROK's suspension of their large-scale military exercise, and on Russia's step-by-step approach.
Whoa, did you hear that? All right, I'm going to play that part again.
which calls for parallel efforts, are moving forward both the denuclearization on the peninsula and establishing a peace mechanism on the peninsula, on the initiative of suspension for suspension, which called for DPRK's suspension of its nuclear and missile activities and for U.S. and ROK's suspension of their large-scale military exercise, and on Russia's step-by-step approach.
Whoa, they want us to stop our military exercises with South Korea. Well, guess what, folks?
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
We are treaty bound to defend South Korea. We are treaty bound to defend Japan. So the idea that we are going to suspend joint military readiness exercises with either nation can just be bounced right out of here. Because guess what, friends? I don't see it happening. Now, I do have a couple more things I want to remind you of. We do have air defense artillery in South Korea. And there was a press conference at one of their sites a short time ago, as in week 10 days. Let's play a couple of clips.
Well, these exercises are very important. It's been made very clearly by our national leadership that the actions and activities of North Korea are dangerous for the Republic of Korea to begin with, for the region, for the United States of America. We have had the responsibility of providing military options to our national leaders. And exercises are a way of making sure that the option is a ready option. It's a capable option. And that's what really underpins deterrence. And so, in our view, we have to continue to exercise until we have a reason not to. And that reason has not yet emerged. That may cause some noise from North Korea. That's what we routinely expect. But it doesn't stop us in our resolve to be as ready as possible and leave the greatest number of options.
And I can tell you those exercises have not ceased and are still going on.
The most important starting point is the diplomatic starting point. So we hope and we work for a diplomatic solution to the challenge presented by Kim Jong-un. And a strong diplomatic effort backed by a strong military effort is key, because
he said a strong diplomatic effort backed by a strong military effort is key.
Credible combat power should be in support of diplomacy and not the other way around. As far as a timeline, it would be crazy for me to share with you those tripwires in advance. If we did that, then it would hardly be a military strategy, would it not? Thank you.
And I apologize for the quality on that second audio clip. I hadn't cleaned it up as much as I would have liked. It was at a press conference outdoors at a air defense site. Now, I got one more clip I'm going to play, then we're going to talk Iran.
Well, I don't know if those missiles can actually hit what they're aimed at, but like horseshoes and hand grenades, getting close is all that's needed when you're dealing with nuclear weapons.
Just wanted to remind you how powerful these things were. Close is all that's needed. Now, shortly after that plane load of cash landed in Iran that Obama so happily supplied, there were meetings, high-level diplomatic exchanges between Iran and North Korea. Now, they were put out in the North Korean press as something else. I haven't had time to search the Iranian news site thoroughly yet. I'm working on it, folks. This takes a minute. I don't read Farsi, do you? So I gotta go off translations and ferret out the truth, because they don't put all their news articles on their English-speaking site. And their audio clips, are even fewer of them, are in English. But Israel has brought forth the Iran's agenda to build weapons factories in Lebanon and Syria. They've brought it forth again. Israel has carried out several airstrikes in Syria in recent years. And 10 years ago, they did us a huge favor. Yes, Israel bombed a North Korea-supplied nuclear reactor in Syria before it went operational. Hezbollah and other proxies, through Hezbollah and other proxies, Iran has been extending its influence in the region and working to provide Hezbollah with more precise weapons to hit valuable targets. Now, you take that with this next article. A new Hamas leader in the Gaza Strip said Monday his group has repaired relations with Iran after a 5-year rift and is now using its newfound financial and military aid to gear up for new hostilities with Israel. Yes, Iran was once the top backer of Hamas, which is an Islamic militant group that seeks Israel's destruction. Hamas broke with Iran in 2012 after the group refused to support Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. However, those ties have been restored. Yes, Iran has restored ties with Hamas. Let me make something clear. If we do not end up in a war with North Korea, we are also treaty bound to defend Yisrael, or Israel. Iran is busy turning Syria into a base of military entrenchment. It wants to use Syria and Lebanon as war fronts. And I think, but I'm not certain, that because the weapons facilities are outside of the physical borders of Iran, they may be a method, and I'm going to have to go through this, of evading the Iran nuclear deal sanctions. Now, there has been no true evidence that I can point to that weapons are being illegally transferred to Hezbollah. However, it would not surprise me if Hezbollah is evading the inspection process. Yes, it would not surprise me. Like I said, Iran wrote the book. Hamas does not hesitate at all and repeatedly exploits Gaza residents by attempting to take advantage of Israelis' assistance, despite severe civil hardship. In other words, the concrete that is sent in by Israel to help them rebuild their houses, diverted, used to make tunnels. So they can tunnel back into Israel for sneak attacks. Thousands of people work every day to make rockets, dig tunnels, and train frogmen. The relationship with Iran is the context in which Israel is upset. Israel did not like the Iran nuclear deal, friends. Egypt has sent fuel to the Gaza Strip. And guess what? They claim that the nation of Israel is an occupation of their lands. I'd like to know how an internationally recognized country is an occupying force on their own territory, which I will say, a majority of which has been recognized by everyone, up to and including the United Nations. Now, Russia, on the other hand, Russia pulled a fast one. Remember I told you last night that China is trying to, at least publicly, tell North Korea they can't do business there anymore? Well, economic cooperation that took place between North Korea and Russia is substantially diminished. And this is according to Development Minister Alexander Galushka. Galushka is the chairman of Business Russia Association and said the North Korean nuclear tests are to blame for the termination or rollbacks of several joint projects. However, he defended the presence of North Korean workers in his country. Now, just a reminder about the North Korean guest worker program. I gotta find it. Give me 2 seconds. Here it is.
When countries have North Korean guest workers, for example, and this is just one example, have North Korean guest workers working in that nation, we know that those guest workers do not take home 100% of the money they earn. Much of that money, in some instances, I understand all of that money, will not go to that individual doing the hard work, but rather goes back to the North Korean regime. What we are saying is countries cut your guest worker programs. We have seen some success with that in the past and in recent months as well.
Now, what Russia calls a slowdown with their economic cooperation is, despite the capacity to transport 4 million tons of cargo annually, only 1.5 million tons of cargo are being delivered. This guy also defended Moscow's North Korea sanctions record, saying North Korea has never violated sanctions measures. He admitted that North Korean workers are still out in the country. But Russia has banned bringing in additional workers. However, there's 40,000 North Korean workers in Russia. Yes, 40,000. That may not sound like a lot, but it sure is. Now, Iran, yes, we're bouncing back and forth between the two. Nikki Haley called for the inspection of Iranian military sites by the IAEA, the UN's nuclear watchdog. And Iran shrugged off the comments as a dream. Iran's government spokesman Mohammad Bagher Nobak told reporters that the demand by Ambassador Haley wasn't worth any attention. Iran will not accept inspection of any of its sites, especially our military sites. All right, folks, mark my words. Centrifuges there are still spinning. I don't care what the official reports say. There are centrifuges still spinning, still processing highly enriched uranium at those locations. Now, Nikki Haley said the United States wants inspection of Iranian military and non-military sites to determine its compliance with the landmark 2015 nuclear deal. Iran isn't allowing it. He says the sites and all information about them are classified. Now, we've got another problem. Yeah, we got another possible problem. Everybody looks at foreign policy and goes, well, it's easy. Just bash this country. We are taking out Daesh. However, could the more Daesh is defeated, could it be opening up a vacuum for Iran? My answer is yes, it is. Because Syrian President Bashar al-Assad does not have the forces or the strength needed with his country in its weakened state to control its entire territory. And even as we bring our forces home and are not nation building, we could very well be leaving behind Iranian forces because we are not helping them, coordinating with them, or even really talking to them. In the region, yes, Iran is up to their eyeballs in supporting Bashar al-Assad. And as we know, Bashar al-Assad is propped up by Russia and Iran. Who are Russia and Iran trading with? Well, North Korea. North Korea's got this great little thing called an ICBM. And while Russia cannot sell them the ICBM technology, no, that would put Russia in a bad light. I wouldn't be one bit surprised to see that somehow fall into Iran's hands. Okay? Okay. Alright. I've got just a couple of little notes left here. U.S. policymakers are asked about the Syrian regime advancing alongside the Iranian-backed militias and said they are deconflicting with the regime. This means the regime can continue to advance as long as it doesn't attack U.S. allies. The same is true in Iraq, as Iranian-backed Shia militias known as PMU lead the way in liberating parts of the country from Daesh. They put up checkpoints with colorful Shia flags wherever they go. In exchange, the U.S. does not express clear concern about their influence over Iraq. Syria is the same story. They put up the Shia flags, or ride under a Syrian flag, we look the other way. Why? Well, I really don't think we want a war with Bashar al-Assad, which would really be a proxy war with Russia. Now, in 2016, State Department spokesman Mark Toner said the U.S. was committed to the territorial integrity and unity of Syria. He opposed any autonomous zones. That means the U.S. has to oppose its Kurdish allies carving out an area for themselves when the battle against Daesh is over. Personally, I don't want to see that statement held up. I want to see that statement blasted out of the water. I don't care what Syria wants. They have proven to be an unreliable state actor. And, by the way, Syria and Lebanon may not only be the only place Iran's building those weapons factories, they may be also building them in Yemen. And as you recall, the Houthis in Yemen have attacked at least 2 United States military vessels. And by the way, just for the record, Kim Jong-un was present at a test flight on Tuesday that flew over Japan and called it a meaningful prelude to containing Guam. And on that note, folks, yeah, I'm back. You regulars know what's coming. You new listeners, hang on for the ride. Ah!